friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about a new collection from NARS. This is the Cool Crush collection, and it is a Nordstrom exclusive. This one is currently available. You can only find it at Nordstrom. I don't know if it will eventually roll out to other NARS retailers. Right now, it's not even on the NARS website, so I'm not sure if this is truly exclusive to Nordstrom or just the launch is exclusive, and then eventually places like Sephora and the NARS boutiques will start to carry it. But for now, you can get it. All the pieces are available, and I'm gonna tell you about everything. We have 4 lip colors, a 4-pan cheek palette, and a 12-pan eyeshadow palette. First, let's talk about the lip colors. These are the loaded lip lacquers. They're priced at $26 US a piece. There are 4 shades and they are all different nudes. According to the description on the Nordstrom site, these loaded lip lacquers are supposed to have the shine of a lip gloss, the comfort of a lip balm, and the impact of a lipstick. I would say that's pretty accurate. These are quite a thick gloss, so they definitely have the coverage, the color payoff of a lipstick. They definitely are shiny like a lip gloss. I don't know if they're quite as comfortable as a lip balm. Because this formula is a really thick gloss, it does have a little bit of a sticky factor to it. Not nearly as much as I expected, just based on how really opaque these are. These are quite smooth and kind of glidey on the lips, sort of like a lip balm would be, but not quite. A little bit thicker, a little bit stickier, but pretty close, pretty good. These loaded lip lacquers do have a little bit of a sweet scent to them. It's not quite vanilla, like that vanilla cake batter type of scent that we get from a lot of creamy lip products. This is coming off more chocolatey to me. Maybe it is a vanilla scent and I'm just hungry for chocolate. I don't know. That could be a thing for sure. But these definitely have a sweet scent to them. The applicator is interesting. It's sort of like a folded over doe foot. This is not a flexible doe foot, and it does have a little dip in the middle, a little scoop, so that you can really scoop out a lot of product. I find that I don't need to dip back into the tube to get a full application across both lips, so this little dip thing does serve very nicely for this formula. I'm gonna go ahead and show you lip swatches of all 4 colors. First, starting out with the lightest shade, this one's called Playin' Around. This is a pale milky nude, definitely has a little bit of a pinkiness to it, so that's Playin' Around. Next we have Young Hearts. This one is a little bit more beige. It's a little bit darker. It's a little bit warmer. It's the shade that I'm wearing throughout the talking portions of the video, but I do think these first 2 are the most similar. Next, we have the shade Foxy. This one is my favorite of all the shades. Not surprisingly, this is a warm, medium nude shade. Has a little bit of that brick tone to it. It's not quite brown. It's not quite pink. So that's Foxy. Lastly, the deepest shade is Freestyle. This one's more of a brownish nude, definitely gonna be nude on deeper skin tones. Has a little bit of a red undertone to it without really being a red, so I think that's nice. Now that you've seen all the lip swatches, I just wanna show you a quick swatch on my arm with all 4 shades side by side. I think it's a little bit easier to tell the differences and similarities versus seeing individual lip swatches. So here are all 4 shades swatched together, just swiped onto my arm. Now let's move on to the cheek palette. This one's called the Hot Fix cheek palette, and it's priced at $49 US. The packaging on here is really cool. It's got this metallic kind of crunched metal look, very similar to what we saw with the Afterglow collection, but just a different color here. So we have the silver and then the NARS logo is in this berry shade. This looks metallic, but it is just a heavy plastic, and it has the classic NARS impossible to open clasp. Inside there is a mirror here, and we have 4 cheek shades. So 1 sort of goldy highlighter here, 2 matte blushes, and then this is a shimmery blush. You could use this as more of a highlighter if you have deeper skin tones. This is definitely more like a shimmery blush or blush topper for me. I did look around on the NARS website and it looks like all 4 of these cheek shades are new. So that's always nice to see. You will get to see me apply all 4 of these shades during the tutorial portion. This color palette definitely suited my skin tone even better than I thought I was going to. I was a little nervous that this more golden highlighter was going to be too dark for me, especially in the wintertime when I am super pasty pale. But I can see these shades working really well for a more medium or tan skin tone as well. So I always like to see that kind of versatility in a cheek palette. As usual, these are super pigmented. I'll go ahead and show you a swatch on my arm of all 4 of these shades just so that you can see them all side by side. The texture on these is very, very smooth. The matte and shimmer formulas alike are super pigmented. I had to use a really light hand when applying these. One thing I always like about NARS cheek products is you get a lot of bang for your buck, lots of one swipe pigmentation. It's also nice to see a slightly smaller cheek palette from them. I do like the larger 6-pan face palettes, but this is sort of a nice break. I can very easily see myself using all 4 of these shades, so I like it. I like it. Nice little face palette. Lastly, let's take a look at the Cool Crush eyeshadow palette. This one's priced at $59 US and it has 12 eyeshadow shades. Almost the exact same packaging as the cheek palette. The only difference is the NARS logo on the eyeshadow palette is orange, whereas the cheek palette is more of a berry color. Another impossible to open glass, another nice mirror, and then we have all 12 shades laid out here. There's quite a mix of finishes in here. We have 3 true mattes, then we have 3 satiny shades. These have a little bit of a sheen to them. Then we have 3 regular metallic shades and then 3 of their really, really intense shimmer shades. Very even mix of textures in here. I really like that. We're also seeing a good balance of light, medium, and deeper shades. There's no denying this is a heavily neutral palette. We are getting, of course, these turquoise blue colors, a nice soft pink, a gorgeous matte brick red. I really like a palette that has neutrals and colorful shades. I really like this color scheme even more than I thought I was going to, especially once I started actually swatching the shades and pairing up the colors. I do want to point out before we get to the swatches that there are 2 shadows in here that are re-promotes. 10 of these shades are new, or at least I couldn't find them anywhere on the NARS site. But here on the bottom row, the satiny teal color called Ganges, this warm bronze shimmer called ISOLDE 2 are current permanent shadows. The rest are new as far as I can tell. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the swatches of this Cool Crush palette. I will be showing you both finger and brush swatches on the inside of my arm with no primer down first. The finger swatches will be pictured on top and then the corresponding brush swatch will be below. I will be using my e.l.f. flat eyeshadow brush to do all the brush swatches, and I'll clean that off in between each shade using my Veramona color switch. That way there's no transfer between shades. So let's go ahead and take a look at those swatches now. Now that you've seen everything swatched, let's take a look at a tutorial where I use the cheek palette and the eyeshadow palette, and then I'll wrap up all my thoughts at the end. We're starting off with the cheeks. First, I'm mixing the 2 matte blushes called Spark Got Hot and Dream Place, just sweeping those all over the cheeks. This makes a nice nudie terracotta shade. Then I took the shimmery blush called Sugar Spirit and I swept that on top as a blush topper. It ended up being way too much for me, too much for this look. So I just went back on top with a damp sponge to sort of blend out and soften that blush, just to make it a little bit more natural on the face. Then I used Gold Leash. This is the highlighter. And this is a Morphe M501 brush. A lot of people ask which highlighting brush I use. I'm sweeping that all on top of the cheekbones and up towards sort of where my brow, forehead area is. Look at this gorgeous glow. It's really pigmented, but it's also very soft. I think used with a light hand, these shades look really natural, definitely very glowy, definitely there, but I really, really like this finish on the face. Now we're gonna go into the eyes. I'm first priming my lids with my favorite eye base. It's the MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. You know the drill. I'm just gonna prep my eyes with that. Then I'm gonna use Soft Chill from the Cool Crush palette to set my eye base. That way I have a nice smooth surface to work on. For my transition shade, I'm using Fresh Cut. I'm gonna build this all into the crease area. This is quite a pigmented shade. It comes off a little bit darker on me than it looks in the pan. Then I'm also going to use that same shade along the lower lash line for a little bit more of a smoky look down there. Next, I'm taking Ganges. This is that deep teal matte shade. First applying that with a small fluffy brush and sort of building up where I want that color. And then I went back in with my finger to get a really, really dark, opaque sort of stamp of that color on the very outer part of my lids. Then I just went back in with a little bit more Fresh Cut to blend that so we have a little smoothness in that smoky dark look. Next I used FEIST, and this applies beautifully with the fingertip. I just took that gold shade from the inner corner all the way out to where it meets that Ganges shade. Then I used this very pale champagne shade, which I won't name so that I can stay monetized, with my pinky finger on the very inner corner. And I took a little bit of ISOLDE 2 on a pencil brush just to make that outer part of the lower lash line a little bit smokier. Then I curled my lashes, added some of my Maybelline the Falsies mascara, and that's the finished look. I love this look. It is the perfect balance between neutral and bright. It's got some colorful, it's got some shimmer, it's got everything I love. It's just fun, playful, sultry, sexy. Love it. First of all, I really am digging this look that I did with the Cool Crush palette. I love the way that this shade Ganges paired with that gold made a really glamorous look, but it's not in your face with the color. From a distance, you just can't really tell what a bold color it actually is. But when you get up a little bit closer and you see that pop of color coming through, it really has a cool effect. I definitely feel inspired by the overall color palette here. I can see tons of different looks coming out of this. I love the way that this palette is set up because it seems like you really can take the columns or halves and create a look there. You've got a neutral look. You can combine all of these to get sort of a look like I did today, or just use that second column and get a really, really blue look. Same thing on this side for more of a peachy neutral, warm neutral look. Combine both of those columns for a bit of a more bold neutral look, warm neutral look. But each one of these columns works so well as a quick shadow trio. Very thoughtfully set up. I find this kind of palette to be both useful and inspiring. This is the kind of thing that I would love to travel with because I'm gonna get some of those pops of color that I like to work with, but I also have my nice, comfy, easy golds and neutrals. So if that doesn't really do it for you, I totally understand. For me personally, for my style and the way I like to do my makeup, I love this color palette. The formulas are just absolutely insane. I love the mix of textures. Every single one of these shadows just performs beautifully. With this top row particularly, I do think that this palette in general is going to be more geared towards light and medium skin tones, but with how rich and opaque these shades are, I can see just about anybody enjoying this. If they had gone for maybe just a few less really, really light tones here, just not as useful for deeper skin tones. But overall, I think the palette is the best thing in this collection. I do like the cheek palette. I can see myself using it, but I think the eyeshadows are going to appeal to more people and be a little bit more exciting, a little bit more fun and inspiring. Cheek palette is good, the quality is there. I also like the lip lacquers more than I thought I would. Typically, a really thick, glossy product like that is not something I'm gonna love or tend to reach for. They are nice. I like the range of nude. I think there is gonna be a right shade for just about anybody, and I like the fact that it's billed as a nude, so they're not trying to sell you all four. You know what I mean? You pick the nude you think is gonna be nude for you, and I kind of like that non-completionist type of marketing. Speaking of marketing, I think it's a little bit confusing for them to call this Cool Crush when clearly we're working with mainly warm tones here. And I don't think they mean cool, like cool tones. I think they mean cool, like cool girl or boy. Cool person, like you're cool, you're with it, you're hip. You don't say things like I just said. That seems like a misnomer or a missed opportunity, especially right now. People are really wanting cool tones. Warm tones have saturated the market for so long that this seems like a missed opportunity to do a more cool toned collection, or at least some cool tones. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, there's always a few things that I would tweak or don't necessarily love in a collection, but overall, really happy with this. I think the quality is there. The shades are interesting and useful, and yeah, I really like it overall. My picks are the eyeshadow palette and the lip shade called Foxy. Those are my favorite things, but quality-wise, all the products are there, they're on par, and I like them. So now's the time when I want to hear what you think about this collection. Are you interested in any of the pieces? Will you be picking any of them up? Are you passing? Let us know what you think down in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Whoop, whoop. Almost dropped my palette. That would not be helpful. The NARS, not NARS, Nordstrom. This almost has a, you know, you know what I'm saying. Yes, nailed it. Especially one cha-cha-cha. What am I saying? Oh, wow, okay. Anyway, now that I've just embarrassed myself, what's new? Will you be scooting? Will you be scooting? You don't... What was that even? No one knows. You know what I want to do? You guys gonna kill me for not doing this in the actual tutorial. I think we should take a little damp brush action and go into this turquoise metallic shade. Hold on, I'm gonna zoom in. This is like a bonus tutorial. And now that the video's over, if it ruins my makeup, then it's fine. Maybe it did ruin my makeup. Let's see. Kind of smudge the edges a little bit. I mean, that's nice. It's not a huge difference. It'd be fun to do the same look with all the turquoise greeny type of shades instead of having added the gold, which I love the gold, but you know, I'm trying to branch into blue more this year. Most awkward pinky in the world. It's fine. This is just how we roll sometimes. Sometimes you just need an awkward pinky moment, you know what I'm saying? What do you think? I mean, it doesn't look that different, but it definitely upped the ante on the blue a little bit more. Are you into it? Are we into it collectively? I don't know. It's pretty. Okay. Well, cool. See, that's why it's called Makeup Just for Fun. Sometimes you just gotta have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, this video is over. It's been over for a while and I'm still filming things, so gotta go. Bye!